Hello beautiful creators. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make this beautiful Bohemian desert blouse. My name is Candice and welcome to Forest Feather Fashion. This blouse consists of two rectangular panels that will join at the top and bottom to create a neck hole. We'll join the sides and add some tassels if you'd like. Let's begin. We are going to need some yarn. I'm using DK weight yarn from Yarnholic. It suggests a 4mm hook, but I'm using a 5.5 to give a chunky effect to my pattern. We'll also need a measuring tape, a piece of scrap yarn or a stitch marker, a crochet hook, slightly bigger than recommended, and a pair of scissors. First, you'll need to take your measurements. Place the measuring tape where you'd like the top to fall on the front and match that to the length at the back. Take a note of this measurement as this will be the length of your foundation chain. To start, make a slip knot. Wrap the yarn twice around your index and middle fingers, pushing the second loop through the first. Insert your hook, release your fingers, and pull tight. We'll want to chain fairly loosely, so you can go up a hook size here or consciously make loose stitches. Make your chain the length of your measurement. I ended up chaining 100 to reach about 28 inches. Add 3 stitches onto your total number, making sure you end on an odd number. For row 2, we will be inserting a half double crochet into every chain stitch. The front of the chain has these V's, and on the back, these little knobs. That's where we will be working into. Yarn over and insert your hook into the third stitch from your hook. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. Continue this along the whole length of the chain. Place your work in front of you and get your piece of scrap yarn or stitch marker. Tie this around one of the half double crochet stitches to mark this side as the front of your work. Chain 3 and turn your work. This counts as your first half double crochet and chain 1. Yarn over, skip that very first stitch and insert a half double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a half double crochet and chain 1. Yarn over, skip the next stitch, insert a half double crochet, and then chain 1. Continue this pattern until the end of the row. Place your last half double crochet into the beginning chain 3. Chain 2 and turn your work. For this row, we will be making puff stitches in every chain 1 space. Yarn over, insert your hook into the space, pull up a loop, making sure these stitches are fairly loose. Shimmy them around a little to make sure they are even. We'll be doing this 4 times. You should now have 9 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 9 loops. Chain 1 to close the puff stitch, and then chain 1 to separate it from the next. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop 4 times. Yarn over and pull through all 9 loops, and then chain 2. After your last puff stitch, insert 1 half double crochet into the last stitch. We started the row with a chain 2, so we'll end with a half double crochet. Chain 3 and turn your work. This counts as your first half double crochet and chain 1. Yarn over and insert a half double crochet in the chain 1 space between the puff stitches. Chain 1 and insert another half double crochet into the next space. Insert the last half double crochet into the top of the chain 2 from the previous row. Chain 2 and turn. This counts as your first half double crochet. Yarn over and insert a half double crochet into the first chain 1 space. Yarn over and insert a half double crochet into the top of the half double crochet from the previous row. And again into the chain 1 space and into the previous row half double crochet. Continue this pattern across this row. To finish this row, place a half double crochet into the second chain of the chain 3 of the previous row. Then we will be chaining 3 and turning our work. This will count as our first double crochet. Yarn over and insert your hook into the next stitch. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Insert a double crochet in every stitch across. The last double crochet will go into the chain 2 of the previous row. Chain 2 and turn your work. This counts as your first half double crochet. Place a half double crochet in every stitch across. We will be repeating the pattern from row 2 to row 7. This row will therefore be a half double crochet across, and then we'll have a half double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, puff stitches separated by a chain 1, sandwiched between another row of half double crochet, chain 1 spaces. The next row will be solid half double crochets followed by a row of double crochets in every stitch. Repeat this pattern until it's wide enough to fit on your shoulder and over the top of your arm. Mine has 4 pattern repeats and is about 8 inches wide. Make 2 of these rectangular panels. I find slowing down a little when I crochet to be a rewarding experience. Lighting some candles, making a lovely cup of herbal tea, and surrounding myself with my plants and beautiful things. It really calms me down and makes the creative process so much more enjoyable. So I encourage you to set up a space with some of the things you love and cherish, make yourself a cup of tea or coffee, and relax into the art of crocheting a beautiful blouse for yourself or a loved one. After you've completed your second panel, tie off your work and place both panels next to one another. Locate the markers on the front of your panels and turn one around so that both starting half double crochet rows are next to each other. How long you want the join in the front to be is completely up to personal preference. I suggest placing one panel on your shoulder and placing a stitch marker or a piece of scrap yarn where you'd like your neckline to start. I want my V-neck to go quite low. Count how many stitches to your marker and join it to the same number on the second panel. Place right sides on top of each other. We will now be joining them using the slip stitch on back method, but you can of course use any method that you would prefer. I'm tying the yarn to the back loop of the first stitch on the top panel. This will be the loop on the outside of the sandwich. Insert your hook into the back loop of both panels. Yarn over and pull this through. Insert your hook into both back loops. Yarn over and pull through both loops. Continue slip stitching through the back loops only until you reach your stitch marker. Cut your yarn and pull this through to make a knot. I like this method because it makes a beautiful join on the front. Repeat the same process to join the back. I've decided to add 2 more stitches into the length so that it comes up a little bit higher at the back. Place the right sides facing each other and slip stitch into the back loops to join. I'm fitting my blouse on to determine how wide I'd like my sleeves to be. Make sure you have enough space to move your arm around. I'd like mine fairly loose, so I'm placing a stitch marker closer to the bottom of my blouse. Repeat the same process by counting the stitches to make sure they line up. Place the right sides on top of one another and slip stitch to join. If you'd like to add tassels to the bottom of your blouse, grab your yarn and something like a book. Begin by wrapping your yarn around the book a couple of times. and then cut this along the groove of the opening of the book. You can, of course, make your tassels as long or as short as you would like. Fold 2 yarn strands in half. Insert your hook into a puff stitch row from behind. Pull the strands through to make a loop, and then pull the tails through the loop and pull tight. I'm placing a tassel at the end of every puff stitch row and at the end of every double crochet row. Feel free to add tassels to the end of as many rows as you would like. I thought this top would be fun to make, and I was absolutely right. Let me know in the comments below what color you've decided to make your Bohemian blouse, and you can tag me on Instagram if you'd like. Thank you for spending time with me on this creative journey. I absolutely appreciate it. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, happy creating.